Hey guys, how we doing? Been a little while. Yeah, I've got a new tune out, and I thought I'd just do a little breakdown, just show you how I made it, go through all the elements and stuff. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Start by just playing the song, just so we can get a feel for how it actually sounds, like the full thing. I feel like the main thing that sticks out to me straight away is the bass. It's definitely a tune where I've tried to do a bit more with the bass and make it a bit more like front and center rather than like just have it kind of in the background backing elements up. It's much more like, okay, this is a synth bass. This is much more of like a core element, and it's something that like I want to be front and center to kind of drive the groove. It's actually just like a preset from Massive, which is just giving it like the kind of old school Moog sound. And then what I've done is added in a bunch of like accent notes. So you can see like there's all these little kind of slidey things overlapping. And all that does is it means because the synth is like monophonic, it can't play two notes at once, so it has to slide between the two. I feel like when I'm writing bass lines, I usually write twice as many notes as this and then I have to take a bunch away, because I feel like when you're writing on its own, it feels like you want to fill all the gaps and you want to like, you know, make sure there's this kind of driving thing in the background, but actually those gaps kind of give the tune a bit of character and a bit more kind of rhythm. Then moving on to more of the kind of like melodic parts, we've got a few kind of keyboards that just drive like the chords in the background. So you can see here we've got like a main keys and like a pad as well. And they're basically, one half is playing quite like a Rhodesy, like jazzy sound, I guess. And then one half is playing like a more like synth pad, kind of higher up airy sound. The main keys on their own just sound like this, which is like quite a nice patch on its own. And then I'm just adding like a few little bits to kind of clean it up a bit. So taking out some of the lows, and then this kind of weird EQ. I don't know how I've come up with this, but seems to be doing the job. And then some imaging just to kind of give it a bit more width in the mix. And then also like, yeah, bunch of stuff in Effect Rack. Absolutely love all their stuff, man. So good. But yeah, together they kind of like blend, which is quite nice. I do find when I'm writing a tune that has like chords as kind of a main element, I don't really just want to do one layer. Like I usually need two just to kind of fill the sound out a bit. Otherwise it can like really easily blend into the background. And that's fine. It's just whether you want that to be kind of front and center or more of like a backup element. And we can move on to the drums. So the drums I feel like have loads of elements in this tune. If we go through like the arrangement here, you can see there's just like, I don't know, too many layers going on. If I just solo the drums and we just go through the timeline here, you can just see there's like so many layers going on, right? There's just like, yeah, too many things. But hopefully when you listen to it, it doesn't sound kind of overwhelming. And I feel like this is quite a classic thing for me, is like I'll write a groove and write like a bunch of drum sounds in there, and then come back the next day and just start to kind of strip them back and turn them down in the mix and just choose what I want to be front and center. But all sorts, like there's like this kind of like little perk loop in the background. I remember there was a version of this song that had like the perk loop as more of an obvious element. It's just nice as more of a background thing, I think. Yeah, the main stuff going on is really just like a couple of kicks, like the main snare, and then like the open hat as well. So you can hear with just those elements playing, like you've got quite a nice groove already, and that's probably the basis of what you need to like get the kind of tune going. And that's literally just like classic 4 on the floor with the right sounds, and then like this little accent kick, which is just adding, it's literally just adding like one little thing there to kind of make it kind of swung and make it a bit weird, and yeah, just delay some of the groove a bit. It's just that it's not so like on the grid. And on the actual drum bus, I don't really have much going on. It's mostly just like a bit of compression for glue, and then like 3.5 dB of saturation. I think at the time when I was writing this, I just absolutely loved this plugin. Still do, to be fair. It's so good. Cool. And then another kind of main element of the tune, I'd say, is the vocals. So yeah, so there's two kind of vocals in the song. So there's this kind of main melodic vocal, this ambient vox, I've called it. Which basically is little chops of an R&B track, and I've just run it through loads of effects to almost make it sound like it's coming out of a radio or something. Like that's it without anything. And it's very like in your face, and then adding all the effects. Bit of a running theme for me is just drowning stuff in like chorus and saturation and reverb and stuff. Cool. And then there's also this like French vocal in here, which is almost like a bit of percussion. It's not really in there as like a main element or like as vocals usually would be treated. It's more in there just to kind of add to the overall track. So that like the original sample actually just sounds like this. You can hear like the odd French word in there, but you can't really make it out. And then if we add on the effects as well, it actually just starts to sound like a bit more of an element that could be mixed in and kind of treated as a bit more of like a percussive sound. Like if you listen to this in the actual mix, it doesn't sound like anything at all. But I quite like the idea that it almost sounds like you're overhearing someone in the background talking. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't really feel like a conversation you're having with someone. It's more like something that you would hear in like a cafe or something, you know? And I guess there's kind of one more main element in the whole tune, and it's the lead. It's the main kind of melody top line. For the lead, it's actually like super simple, right? It's just like going up and down the scale, you know? Really nothing crazy going on. And if you listen to it without effects, I feel like the effects actually do carry this sound a lot. Like this is it without the effects. Just sounds like a Nokia ringtone or something. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't sound like any kind of like polished sound or anything kind of like interesting. And then when you add the effects, which are like, you know, saturation, loads of delay, EQ, chorus, just layer in loads of stuff, and you basically get to a point where like it actually does sound really kind of interesting, and you've got kind of like the little clicks and little delays, and yeah, it just suddenly feels almost like nostalgic, you know? Cool, I think that's pretty much it for the tune. I think it's one of them where there's loads of things going on, but because like a lot of it's turned down or a lot of it's kind of like mixed in or used in like an infrequent way, it still feels like quite a chill tune. It doesn't feel kind of overwhelming. Definitely going for that more kind of like chill house, lo-fi influenced kind of sound. So yeah, loads of effects in there, loads of like messing around with stuff, but I just love all that, man. Like I just love playing around with all these different things and mashing them all together and just seeing what you end up with. Pretty much it. The tune is out now. If your fans going to give it a listen, I would absolutely love that. Yeah. Bye.